Welcome back, everyone. I'm really glad you are here because today's topic is one of those things that almost everyone uses, but very few people truly understand. Okay, so today we are going to talk about Chrome options and Edge options in Selenium, and we will answer three extremely common and very important questions. So, first is like, why do we almost always use Chrome options in Selenium? Why don't we see Edge options used as frequently? And the most important questions, do we actually get errors if we don't use them? Okay, so by the end of the session, you won't just know what code to write, you will understand why professional automation engineers write Selenium code the way they do. Okay, so this understanding is what separates people who copy Selenium code from people who build stable automation frameworks. So let's begin. So let's start with something you have probably already noticed. If you watch Selenium tutorials, read blogs, or look at the sample projects, you will see a very common pattern. Okay, so if you see here, for Chrome, most examples look like this. So while initializing the driver, you will see one additional line, that is Chrome options option is equal to new Chrome options. But when you look at Edge example, suddenly the code becomes much simpler with only this line. That is driver is equal to new Edge driver. And naturally this raises questions, right? So why do we need options for Chrome but not for Edge? Is Chrome more problematic? is is Edge safer, or are we just copying code without understanding it? So these are very valid questions. Okay, and today we are not going to answer them with opinions. We are going to answer them with browser behavior, real world experience, and automation logic. Okay, so let's begin with Google Chrome. Okay, so like, why Chrome options are commonly used for Chrome? Okay, so Chrome is one of the most aggressively updated browsers in the world. Okay, so Google releases updates very frequently, sometimes every few weeks, sometimes even faster. Okay, so this update includes security patches, new browser features, experimental flags, policy and permission changes. From a user's perspective, this is great, but from an automation perspective, this creates challenges. Okay, so from Selenium's point of view, every Chrome update is a risk. So after an update, automation engineers often face issues like browser opens and immediately closes, session not created exception, driver and browser version mismatch, Chrome blocking automation connections. And here is the most frustrating part: your automation code did not change. So the browser changed. Okay, so why Chrome option exist? So this is exactly why these are exist. Okay, so Chrome options allows us to pass instructions to Chrome before it even launches. Okay, so think of Chrome options as a pre-flight checklist. So before the browser starts, we tell it, here is how you should behave when automation is controlling you. Okay, so using Chrome options, we can disable notifications that blocks test, run test in headless mode, handle security or connection restrictions, allow Selenium to communicate with Chrome safely. Okay, so now if you see, Chrome options option is equal to new Chrome options, and then we can add the arguments such as like options dot add arguments, and then the arguments like remote allow origins, and then star, and then again, as Java, as we are using Java, we need to add semicolon. So this line is extremely common in real projects. So what it tells Chrome is, allow Selenium to control this browser without blocking it due to security rules. Okay, so this is why professional Selenium frameworks almost always include Chrome options is equal to new Chrome options. Okay, even if no special arguments are added initially. So even if you are not adding these arguments, this is still fine. Okay, so they are thinking ahead, not just about today's test run. Okay, so like, let's say for example, if my test runs without Chrome options, without this line today, okay, and only with this line, that might fail in future because of the update changes. Okay, so that's why we are like, we should be thinking ahead, not just about today's run. Okay, so now let's answer the most common question. So what happens if we don't use Chrome options? So the honest answer is sometimes nothing happens. So as I discussed, so sometimes the test case works just fine, and sometimes everything breaks. So that's why like we should be adding the Chrome option line. Okay, so at the beginning, this often works perfectly fine. Browser opens, test runs, no errors. And beginners think Chrome options is unnecessary. Okay, but later the Chrome updates, and suddenly you start seeing browser opening and closes instantly, session not created exception, version mismatch errors, connection or security failures. So these issues don't happen every day, but when they happen, they are very confusing, especially for beginners. Okay, so think of Chrome options like wearing a seat belt. So you may not need it every single day, but the day something goes wrong, you will be very glad it was there, right? So that's why Chrome options is used as a preventive measure and not a reaction. Okay, so this is about Chrome. Now let's talk about Microsoft Edge. So Edge is also Chromium based, just like Chrome, but Microsoft manages Edge very differently. So the difference is like Microsoft tightly couples Edge browser, Edge driver, and the browser updates. This means version compatibility is handled much better as compared to Chrome. Fewer automation security blocks and smoother Selenium integration. So that's why we only write, mostly we write for Edge, WebDriver is equal to new Edge driver. So in most cases, this just works. Browser launches, Selenium connects, and the tests run smoothly. So that's why many tutorials don't show Edge options, not because Edge options is useless, but because it's not always required. So does that mean Edge options should never be used? So absolutely not. You will need Edge options when running tests in a headless mode, executing tests in CI/CD pipelines, customizing browser startup behavior, running tests on servers without the UI. Okay, so in that case, like we can again, if you want to write those options, then again we have Edge options. So let me, okay, I will just keep it as it is, and then new Edge options. Okay, and again I will just simply copy this line here, and you can simply add these arguments. Okay, remote allow origin, and then uh not origin actually, so you can add here like start maximize. So there is some difference. Start maximize. So here Edge options is used intentionally, not as a default but as a requirement. Okay, so Chrome option is usually preventive, but Edge options is usually situational. Okay, so yeah, so let's summarize everything clearly. So Chrome, which has frequent updates, more automation restrictions, errors may appear suddenly, so use Chrome options by default. For Edge, better driver browser compatibility, fewer automation blocks, and works fine without options. So use Edge options when needed. So as we discussed on CI/CD, we should use Edge options as well. Okay, so as a beginner, your Selenium test may run today without options. As a professional automation engineer, your responsibility is to write the code that survives browser updates, run on different machines, works in CI/CD pipelines. So that mindset is what separates learners from the real world automation engineers. So if this lecture helped you truly understand why Chrome options and Edge options exist, please like this video. It really supports the channel. Subscribe for real world Selenium training, and share this video with anyone struggling to understand browser options. So drop your questions in the comments. I personally read them. And in the next lecture, we will go into the further topics. Thanks for watching. See you in the next class.